How you doing, Jay?
If I were any better, I would either be my Secretary of Homeland Security or I would get this dead blame pressure washer engine actually running.
Uh-oh.
Killing me. It's killing me. I have so much respect for people that really know how to do things, man, because I don't really do anything. I think about things, but I don't do it. I think what I admire more than anything is sheet rock installers.
Wow, they're good.
Those guys are magicians.
They're good. Well, I told you that my grandpa, who was a mechanic all of his working life and did that for a living on the biggest type of machinery, on these big old D9 bulldozers and earth-moving equipment and skidders and log equipment. He always told me that he would rather work on 100 skidders than one lawnmower.
I get it.
He said those small engines, he said it's not just that every piece and part of them are small, it's that they are so finely tuned.
No, that's it. The tolerances are just tiny. I'm trying to turn a screw like 1/2 of 1 degree. You're right. He's right. It's the tolerances.
Oh, man. So still hadn't gotten it running yet?
Well, I got it running, but the RPMs aren't right.
Oh. So your idle's off?
Oh, no. I mean, if I let it run for 30 seconds, it'd blow up. I'd say it's running at about 6,000 RPM, or I can get it down to running about 2,000 RPM.
Okay.
But I can't get it at 3,800, which is where I want it.
Well, you'll get there. There. Yeah, I mean, I have faith in you, and I have faith in YouTube. And
I know what screw to turn. It's just a question of turning it 1/2 of 1 degree.
That's right. That's exactly right. Well, Jay, there's you know what? I just want to go to the law because there's really not anything going on good in NASCAR. I mean, there's nothing really positive. I mean, nobody's winning that we're interested in. I mean, I kid.
Have you seen that in-car video of Chase Briscoe from last week?
I don't think I have.
You gotta see this because it's when Larson comes up to him, and he's just actually ripping the wall and passes him, and then it pulls him by straightaway on the next lap, and he keys up the radio and says, and this is and he's a world-class race car driver. Here's all he could say, man. I have no idea how he does that.
Well, if y'all are a racing fan at all, I mean, and I'm picking on Jay because I know Jay has an affection for the number 5, and I like Kyle Larson a lot, and you have to have mad respect for him. I mean, my driver's just not, this car has not fit him since this car came into being, and it's hurt Chase on it. But Larson could drive a lawnmower and win races. I mean, he really could.
And he's just a natural-born race car driver.
And look, all I've ever done, Jay, you've been behind the wheel of a car. You've driven ovals. You've been close to walls. In reality, all I have in reference is iRacing, right? And I have no idea how I understand he's a world-class driver, how he drives consistently, brushing the wall and not losing speed either, driving faster than everybody else, and he's against the wall.
It's incredible. It's absolutely incredible.
Amazing. Absolutely amazing. All right, Jay, I tell you what I want to do because we've already got folks waiting on the line. Let's go to a couple calls. You ready? I think I just need to get out of the way and let folks talk to you because folks want to call you, 615-737-9986. Stephen has been waiting. Stephen is on the road, and he has a question for our man, Jay St. Clair. Hey, Stephen.
Hey, Matt. Hey, Jay. How's it going, brothers?
Good.
I'm doing great, Stephen. What's going on?
Hey, I heard you talking about NASCAR, too. I was just going to say, man, I don't know. Who you think's going to win that Martinsville?
Well, Chase, that's a pretty good track for Chase.
Yeah. The Hendrick cars are looking good, generally speaking.
No. I mean, they're all 4 of them in the top 6 in points right now. But, Denny Hamlin is good there, Joey Logano. It'll be a competitive race. It'll be a good race.
Yeah, I'd like to see the Dillon brothers start winning some races myself, man. I'm waiting for them to start coming up. That'd be good.
Don't hold your breath.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
I get it.
Okay.
I get. Hey, look, I get it. I get it. When Kyle Larson came to Hendrick, I thought, well, he's going to have him a competition with that Chase Elliott. That competition didn't last very long, so I get it.
Yeah, I'd like to see Hendrick racing win some race. I mean, I really want to see that 43 car winning some races again. I've been waiting for that for a long time. I don't know. I think maybe the last time it actually won a race, it had Bobby Hamilton in it from Nashville, and it was the Martinsville Richard Petty car. I hadn't seen it win in a long time, but it'd be good to see that car winning again.
Well, you know what I like to see, and I'm not quite as old as Jay. I'm close, not quite as old, but I'm an old soul when it comes to NASCARs. I loved seeing the 21 back in victory lane. The Wood brothers.
Okay.
I mean, Josh Berry. I mean, Josh Berry riding the Wood
Alabama boys.
Yeah, that's good stuff.
Yeah, man.
What's the question there, Steve?
Yeah, real quick on this legal stuff. I'm just wondering. Let's say somebody's father passes away, and he's got some commercial property, he's got some residential property, he's got land, and he's got a lot of assets, a lot of stuff worth money. But let's say the son of this father, never was really in his life that much, spent very little time, and if the father had debt on all his stuff or was in debt, let's say, lots of money in debt with whatever, is there a way that when he passes away, he could pass that stuff to his son as kind of like a gotcha type thing, and then they could come after me and my assets or my property and seize some stuff?
No.
He's my real father, but he was really never in my life or whatever.
Right. No, this is the way that works, Stephen. When somebody dies like that, and they don't say they got a will, and they leave it all to somebody we'll call Breve, just to make up a name. And, so first the estate gets settled. And so let's say the estate has property worth $100,000, but it has debts of $75,000. Before anybody can get the property, first the debts have to get paid. And then if there's $25,000 left, then Breve would get the $25,000. Let's change the numbers. Let's say the property's worth $100,000, but he was $125,000 in debt. In that case, what happens is all of that $100,000 worth of property gets sold. It is then divided up among the creditors, and Breve gets nothing.
Okay. That's what I was just checking. Just make sure that none of that debt can be passed on to me or any other family member or anything.
Right. No, it all gets settled up in the estate. That's assuming all of it. That's assuming nobody else's name was on the mortgages or the loans or anything else.
Right. Okay. Yeah, I was just wondering because that could be kind of like a gotcha type thing, for some people. And man, I appreciate that.
The law's figured that out, Stephen. Good luck.
Thank you, Stephen. Thank you. Appreciate you, Stephen. Hope your driver wins this weekend, unless it's Denny Hamlin. Let's talk to Sally in Kentucky. Hello, Sally.
Hey, how you doing, brother?
I'm doing well, Sally. I hope you are.
Old, fat, and bald, but I'm getting there.
I love that. What's on your mind, Sally?
Well, I got a hypothetical. Say my buddies and I knew about a bar that burned down, and we decided to go over there and see what we could find.
A barn? Did you say a barn?
He said a bar. This is a reference to the first hour of the show, Jay. Just to give you a heads up. All right, go ahead, Sally.
Yeah, I found a Miller Lite neon sign that worked.
Uh-huh.
Am I guilty of looting?
Uh-huh. Yeah.
Well, was it your property?
No.
Well, you can't take other people's property, Sally.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's looting.
I was guilty of that.
You looted.
I can give that back then, huh?
Loot. I declare a loot. Jay, Sally's messing with us. I told this story earlier today of something that happened to me in college, how I acquired my neon Miller Lite sign.
Oh, okay.
And it had to do with the bar burning down.
Well, we'll have a session next time on the statute of limitations.
There's my lawyer. There's my attorney. There he goes.
I knew that was coming up.
In the technicalities of the law lies the defense of the innocent.
Sally, do you have another question? Or are you just messing with us?
No, I was just messing.
All right. Well, I appreciate you, brother. Thanks for the call. I just learned this. Hey, this just came in, and this is applicable. I'll get to Lisa and William and all of your other questions. You can get them in here. We'll get to as many as possible during our final segment with FriJay. But, Jay, you, over the years, I've learned this. I've learned that you don't like me talking about you like this, but I'm going to do it anyway. You have the wisdom of Solomon, and you have the patience of Job. I've seen your wisdom in action in the legal settings, and I've seen your patience in action when you watch me on the golf course. I mean, really.
Thank you, man. I appreciate
Well, it's true. It's true. But you have taught me about issues involving politics and especially the judicial branch to just sometimes don't get too excited, be patient, and allow these things to work themselves out.
Right.
This just in. 4:27 p.m. today, a federal appeals court has lifted a judge's order blocking Elon Musk's Department of Government Efficiency from further cuts at the U.S. Agency for International Development. The three-judge panel found the Trump administration is likely to show that Doge's involvement does not in any way violate the Constitution. You predicted this.
Well, another panel just this afternoon ruled that lifted the injunction that said that Trump could not fire a member of the NLRB. And also, I think the Consumer Protection Financial Board. So, yeah, it'll right its way. It's frustrating. I get it why people are frustrated. But, you just have to be paid. You know, here's the deal, man. Our government, it was intentionally built to move slowly. It was very intentional. They did not want to concentrate power in one person's hands. Mm-hmm. Right? That's what we left from. That's why we seceded from England before it was Great Britain and then the United Kingdom. I actually went down the rabbit hole in the difference of those three. And so it is frustrating. Things have to move slowly. It's not like that goomer down in Argentina who goes in and he's got a lot of power and he turns the battleship around. Yeah, he turned the battleship around in 4 hours. Well, we just can't do that in America. But I'll say this is the fastest sprint I've ever seen from the federal government in my time on Earth.
Yeah, no, you're right. We're only 66 days in, and last night Elon said because he has a 130-day cap on his involvement. Right. And he was asked by Brett Baer last night, do you think you'll have to extend? He said, no, I think I can get most of it done in 130 days.
Yeah. Well, I mean, Twitter took, 2 weeks?
That's right.
And he cut that by 80%.
And
it was some number above.
It was over 7. I think it was 70, but somewhere between 75 and 80%. And here's the brilliant thing: they predicted that it would be shut down and it would go away and cease to exist. And he readily admits, you and I've talked about this. He admits that he overpaid. And he said, I overpaid by about $20 billion. What its real evaluation was. And just last week, Jay, Twitter just got evaluated at above what Elon Musk paid for it.
Well, we cannot thank someone enough, Matt, who is willing to go $20 billion into their pocket to protect the freedom of speech in our country.
Amen.
This whole country owes him such a great debt.
Oh, no question about it. No question about it. All right. So, by the way, before I get to Lisa, I learned something talking about the slowness of government. Just a unique factoid that I learned today. From Senate Majority Leader Jack Johnson, Jay, that in the state of Tennessee, it takes a minimum of 2 years to amend the Constitution because it has to go through 2 rounds of the General Assembly before they take it to the people, and then the people ultimately decide an amendment to our Constitution in Tennessee. I mean, I think that's brilliant, too.
Yeah, no, it's very intentional. It's all very intentional. And it's sort of, it fights mob rule. The founding fathers, they were afraid of the monarch, right? No question about that. That was the driving force behind it. But the other thing, they were smart enough, Matt, to realize that mob rule can be just as bad as a bad monarch.
Yep.
And so they won't let the mob take over either.
Yeah,
and that's why something like this is in there.
No, it's brilliant. It's brilliant. You don't want the two wolves and the sheep, voting what's for dinner. Lisa is next up in Nashville. Lisa, I will get out of the way and let you talk to our man, Jay St. Clair. How are you?
I'm good. Thank you so much. Thank you for taking my call. I've gotten so many different answers on this question, so I'm so happy to get to talk to y'all. I have a will, a regular will I paid for, and everything's supposed to go to my kids. Well, now people are telling me that if I don't have a trust, my kids will have to send my home, which is my biggest asset, through probate, and they will lose 6 to 10% of the value. So what is true and what isn't?
Well, it is true that if a house passes through a will, that you will have to go to probate. There is a way to get around that. I mentioned that a few weeks ago, and then a lawyer friend of yours, Matt, wrote in and said, I wouldn't do that. But one way you can avoid that, Lisa, is before you die, you could put the house in their name, and then it would pass outside the estate. That's one way to avoid that. But
their
other
name.
than that, yeah, in their name. You, in effect, give them the house.
Okay, you can just quick claim it or something.
Yeah, that's right. That's very well said. Where'd you go to law school?
I was the flight attendant for Southwest Airlines. That's my deal. But so if I'm afraid,
but let me finish that thought. I don't think that when they're saying you're going to lose 6 to 7% of the value of the house, I don't know where they're getting that. Going through a probate should not be that expensive. I'm not going to ask you how big the estate is overall, but it really shouldn't cost more than a couple of $1,000s.
Oh, okay. A trust.
Yeah.
Which they're saying is going to cost around $3,000 or $4,000.
Right.
So the only way to avoid probate is if I go pay to get a trust. Is that correct?
Yeah, that's right. You can do it that way, and it's complicated, and you got to get the right person to set it up, Lisa. I guess I would say this, that of the people in your situation, I would, unless it's a multi-million-dollar estate, and it might be, and if it is, in that case, I would get a trust. But I would say 98% of the people that are in your situation, just let that go through probate. It's not that difficult. Or like you say, if the major asset is the house, once you think you're getting close to the time, then what you can do is just quick claim it. I love that you're familiar with that concept, to your 3 children. I guess the idea, none of them are going to take the house. They'll sell it, right, and then divide the money equally. Right.
Can I put it in their name if I owe a little bit on it?
Yeah, you can, but that gets a little bit complicated because if there's still a mortgage, technically the mortgage company could say, oh, wait a minute, you have transferred the ownership of the house, and therefore we're calling the mortgage due.
Right.
So, you get all those little kind of technicalities like that. So that's why if you choose to go that route, and I don't know that there's other negative consequences of that too. I just think I would just let it set up and go through probate. How complicated is the rest of the estate?
Oh, it's not. I got their names POD on everything, and the house is worth about $600,000. So I just hated to go pay out a lot of money for something that I might not need.
Yep. Well, I'm gonna answer to you, Lisa, the way that I answer to my clients when I give them options. I will say to them, if it is my company, if it were my company, this is what I would do. And let me tell you this. That's what I'm done. So I have one heir, it's my son. I'm not going to set up a trust for him. And I've got a significant estate, but most of it will pass outside of probate. But for the house, I'm just going to let it go through probate.
Oh, what about a nursing home? Can a nursing home take my house if I don't have enough money to pay for that? Because my mother paid out a ton of...
Well, that's right.
You can't avoid that, can you?
Well, you can, but see, they're on to that, Lisa, because if you try to sell all your property and then go to a nursing home and claim, hey, I don't have any money, and therefore Medicaid has to pay for it, well, they will go find out whether you transferred a bunch of your assets.
How many years do I need to do that? If just to say, if I was going to do that, how many years can they look back?
I don't have that right in front of me, but they will go back several years. I mean, I would think you got to have at least probably about 5 years difference, but I don't know that there is an absolute cutoff for that, Lisa. What they'll look at is, well, why was that transfer done? What was the reason for it? Were you doing it just to avoid having to pay the nursing? That's a real technical issue, and before doing something like that, I would talk to a lawyer that does that kind of work. It's a very technical issue.
Okay, I love you, and I love Matt. I look so forward to FriJay. Thank you guys so much. Love you.
Hey, Lisa, hang on. I love you, too, and one of the things I love to do is guess where people grew up based on their accents, and I am going to guess that you grew up in Middle Tennessee.
I did. 440 took our home. My maiden name Halliburton, and Honey, he was from Clarksville. And when 440 came through in '69, they took our home, which was right behind the old Battle of Nashville Monument. And my daddy wanted to get back to Clarksville to buy a farm, and there you go. I played basketball at Overton, but I graduated from Clarksville High. And I had that fun job at Southwest Airlines, which I love.
That's awesome.
Oh, I bet you. I want to fly with you, Lisa. I bet you are a hoot.
I sang, wrote my own songs, Honey. They were. Oh, I wrote some great songs.
No, I bet you're one of those Southwest. You're one of those Southwest flight attendants that gets on the microphone and is funny.
Absolutely.
Yeah, that's
absolutely. Hey, love y'all. Thank you, Lisa. So much.
Take care. There you go. At least Lisa's not hanging on to that 440 deal. I mean, at least she's gotten over it.
Let it go, Lisa. Let it go.
Did she say 69? Wow, man. Oh, man. That's been a minute. All right, let's slide one more in here before we have to say goodbye to Jay. William, we got to go quick, but I want to get you in. How are you, William?
I'm fine. Okay, real quick. So my parents are elderly, and my brother is a little mentally not there, but he has his own family, his own kids, and everything. And in my parents' will, they have said that they are assigning responsibility for my brother to me, and he doesn't want it, and I don't want it, and because he has lots of debts and I don't, can they do that in their will?
I don't understand what you mean when you're saying they're assigning responsibility for your brother. They can't do that. I mean, all they can do in the will is to say, here's how they're going to give away their assets. They cannot in a will bind you. Now, what they could do is give you all the money and then say you can dole it out to your brother as you see fit. But even that's not binding, William. That's not binding. If they give the money to you, it's your money. But they can't force you to take care of your brother. Not in a will.
Right. Okay.
Am I answering your question?
Yep. That's exactly what I thought. They had a different frame of mind about it.
Yeah, no, they can't do that.
William, thank you.
What they could do is leave all the money to you and then say, William, be a good Christian, take care of your brother. They can say that. You're not legally obligated to do that. But that's the closest they can do.
They can't bind me to his assets or debts or whatever.
No, they can't do that. This isn't Russia, William.
Thank you, William, for the call. I mean,
is this Russia?
Right.
No,
but it
isn't that in Caddyshack?
I think so. I was trying to figure out what the reference was. I think you're right. Is this Russia?
No, this isn't Russia. You don't have to go to school, Danny. You don't have to go to school. This isn't Russia.
Well, I mean, the world needs ditch diggers too.
Right in the lumberyard.
That's right in the lumberyard. Jay, always love it, my friend. Love you, brother. Have a great weekend.
See you, brother.
All right, take care. There's Jay St. Clair. That's FriJay on Super Talk 99.7 WTN.